It's March 7th, 2021. Welcome to episode 54 of the Baby Metal Podcast. We gather in the podcast Discord server on alternate weeks to discuss news and thoughts on the past and future projects of Baby Metal. We invite you to join us, whether you're a longtime fan or have only just arrived. I am Paul, and I am joined by Kevin.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
And Maggie.
Greetings and salutations, everyone.
All right, so not a lot has happened, we have determined, since the last episode that we recorded, but we did promise last time that we would talk a bit about some of the interviews. So in particular, the PMC Volume 18 interview that was translated basically just as we recorded last time. There's a little bit of news that we'll talk through, but it is only a little. And we have some conspiracy theories and all kinds of interesting stuff. So I guess the first little note I have in my list of news things is that, and it's almost actually not worth talking about this in a way, because by the time this hits the feed, this is everything will be known. So I'll say this now, but it may actually be cut out.
Fair enough.
The 10-year anniversary Sakura Gakuin books are out. Some people have gotten one person has at least gotten this, taken a photo of it, and put that photo on Twitter. It is a photo of the cover.
I have seen exactly one photo of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is still in getting ready for shipment status.
Yeah, mine too.
I will look at the pictures on Twitter.
Yeah, well, so we already knew what the cover looked like.
Well, yeah, exactly.
In fact, actually, I remember this happening with the PMC interview, the first PMC interview, where they were kind of in this blue tint, cloaked.
Oh, the blue and red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right when that came out, everybody was desperate, because that was like the first interview from a long time past, right? And so everybody's anxious to see it. And what ended up happening is that, there were like 300 people posted the cover on Twitter, and nobody posted anything inside.
Yeah.
And that keeps happening. And it's annoying. But this one actually, I mean, so I think there's a cultural thing, that I think it's not cool in Japan to do that, to like buy the thing and then, give away the secret.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you don't also see fan cams typically from Japanese shows.
True. It's
However,
very, very rare.
Yeah.
If anything, it's usually sound recordings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Partly also too that it's easier not to get caught doing a sound recording.
Well, true. Yeah.
But what I was going to say, I guess, well, we know that this is being shipped to international people who do not share that view.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably won't be too long.
True.
But yeah, I mean, I also think that International Intenso probably is shipped at the end of the line, like since somebody has it, and mine's still processing for shipping, and I bought it right away. I mean, like I bought it like immediately. So
yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard. Osmart Japanese people are going to get their stuff first. That's just how it is for every group.
Yeah,
you order merchandise from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This one does seem to be a little bit more delayed.
Yeah.
I think in the past, what I've seen is Japanese fans will get their stuff on the same day I'll get a shipment notification.
Right.
That hasn't happened this time. Mine is still waiting for shipment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, COVID, unfortunately, is still a thing. And I know they're located in Tokyo, and I think they just got their state of emergency thing reamped again or readjusted. So it might still be in that whole entire issue process of COVID shipment and stuff.
Yeah, although that doesn't explain Tenso. I think the fact that they've delayed Tenso shipments means it's intentional. Like they're shipping to non-Tenso Japanese addresses, and then Tenso Japanese addresses, and then international.
Anyways, it'll get here when it gets here.
Yep.
I imagine within the next week I'll have it.
Yep. So right now, you're listening to this long after we all knew what the 7 questions from Yui were, and it's probably just things about enjoying tomatoes or something, and nothing that actually tells us anything. But
right. But it'll still be nice to see something from her, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I am also interested to see what, Sue and Moa put, and Momoko and Kano, and other people that we know through Baby Metal. And actually, I'd be curious to see what the initial class had to say as well. What did Ayami
and
say?
Hana.
Yeah.
And Mikiko has a little bit in there too. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
That
Yeah.
would be
Looking forward to
probably a
getting this
good
one.
read. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even if it is going to be, for me, it's going to be mostly mangled by Google Translate. But it is amazing that we live in a time when you can point a phone at a text and it'll translate it like on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
much so.
And get you close enough to get an idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The power of AI.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the energy footprint of that little fun activity is really quite high. But
I suppose so.
anyway, let's not think about that. There's a lot of flying that didn't happen, so maybe that is offsetting it.
Good Christmas.
We will surely talk about that next time, because I think we'll probably know something about that next time.
Oh yeah.
So
That'll be news.
I'm really, I don't know when I'm going to actually get mine, because I'm piling things up in Tenso. Maybe at this point I really am going to just wait until EMS starts again. But
yeah, I sent mine direct DHL, so I'll go get it whenever they decide to ship it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget if I mentioned this like before we started recording or after, but two out of the three of us are moving, and so like that makes shipment difficult because you really have to time it. Like if you order something early, you want to make sure that it doesn't wind up in your old address.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hadn't even ordered my T-shirt yet, which we'll be getting to here in a moment, but I hadn't ordered it yet just for that very fact. I was like, well, I may still be here. I may be in my new place.
Yeah.
Right.
So that Tenso does allow for some safety, but every time, I mean, you can go back and listen to these episodes of me like saying I'm never doing this again and then doing it again. But anyway, so hopefully
$400 shipping cost. What is that?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's see. So other news. What the Budokan shows are a half hour earlier than they were originally planned to be due to curfew, but doesn't feel much like news. It's kind of news. It's news if you're going, I guess.
Yeah.
It's news when there isn't a lot going on.
That's true.
Yeah. Goes back to the whole, they re-upped their state of emergency for another couple months, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So that means that it actually goes all the way through all of the Budokan shows then, right?
I did not see that part.
Okay.
I at least know the March ones.
Through March? That's all I've seen?
Okay.
Yeah.
They're kind of playing it just 1 month at a time.
Yeah. Well, and really, like, a half hour earlier, what is that? That's, I mean, that is really news for a news hungry time.
Yeah.
Because anyway, okay. So then the other thing, which I think we may have a little bit to talk about here, we don't know where this is going to go. But,
yeah, we no idea.
So the one opened though. So like we're not in the new membership time yet, but we have the shirt.
Yes,
we could buy the shirt. I have bought the shirt. I bought the shirt right away. Apparently not everybody did. But,
no, not yet. Like I said, mainly just because of shipping reasons. But now that I know that I'm where I'm moving and what time period, I probably will do that here in the next few days.
Yeah, I did buy it again. I'm hopeful I'll get to actually use it this year.
And
this period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably will not. I just kind of want to keep up with my name. Really, that's it. I know.
Sure.
And plus, the design's kind of cool. I don't know. I like the front of it. It's really neat.
Yeah, I would say of the one shirts I've purchased, and I suppose and other items, this is actually a shirt I might wear.
The
other ones are a little. I don't know what the right word to describe them and why I don't like them is. Well, one of them is the size of a Volkswagen, so I don't wear that one.
Makes a nice sleep pajama
yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah, exactly. I guess maybe just the designs of the other ones aren't super distinguishable. So that, yeah, I don't know. They don't really call out to me, so I don't wear them. They usually I rip the coat off and then stick them in the closet. But I might actually wear this one.
I was going to say the one from last year I thought was actually quite very distinctive with the huge, like very Evangelion look of the big star on the front of it. I thought that was very neat. I actually made that. It was around the time when I started playing Animal Crossing, and you can like custom design stuff in the game. And I actually made that shirt in Animal Crossing.
Oh, nice.
I was very proud of it. And it was obvious that's what that was. I was very, very proud of it. Probably not going to do that with this one.
No.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
no, it ain't happening. Yeah, it's very intricate.
Yeah, last year's was pretty good.
Yeah.
If I had, I suppose, the opportunity to wear it, I would probably wear last year's. But since I've been in my house for the last almost exactly a year, I just haven't had the chance.
Right. I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I it is interesting that the one shirts are, the least, they're one color, I suppose, right? One color on black. they're always red on black. Kind of hard to see from a distance. They're definitely sort of the least flashy things. It somehow seems interesting that like the special expensive edition shirts are the ones that are so basic in a way. But
sure.
But I was just thinking that thinking about how the Metal Galaxy the one set looks. That sort of carries through this whole line, I guess, because that is a really boring looking cover.
Right. I suppose it is worth mentioning, too, that there are 2 versions of this to buy this year. One comes with a sticker set.
Mm-hmm. And that's only for the ones that are re-upping their name if they had one from last year.
Right. So if you're resubscribing,
then you get a sticker.
And are currently a member of the one, you can buy the limited edition 2021, The One, which comes with some little stickers of the shirt design.
Yeah. It always feels a little bit like not much of a thing, but they did this last couple of years too. I have little stickers from a couple of these.
Yeah.
I forget now how long ago. I think between my second and third, the 1 years, I actually let the first one lapse because I wanted to change my metal name. So I'm now Paul Ways Metal. Nice. Sort of based on my Discord name is Paul Ways on your side because it whatever it seemed amusing at the time.
I was gonna say mine was originally Nehru Metal, which Nehru is one of the goddesses from the Legend of Zelda series. But first time I went over, I'm going to try to make this quick. First time I went over to Japan, like nobody knew what that was, and it made me really sad. So I then had a fun story that happened, and so I kind of took that story and then made that my metal name. So it's Water 2 Metal, pun, technically the second water metal, quote unquote. Anyway, story done.
Okay. Yeah.
Thus concludes story time with Maggie.
Thus, yes. The shorthand of it. If anybody wants the longhand of it, I'm more willing to tell it at some point.
Well, it's a slow news day, so. But
I mean, if you want me to, I can. I have no problems with it. It's kind of short and cute, really.
All right.
All right, then. So, my very first time Japan, went the night before Osaka, because that was the big Folk Festival. The night before, on Friday, BABYMETAL was playing in Osaka as well. So I went and saw BABYMETAL with a whole bunch of BABYMETAL friends that I've just recently met. And then afterwards, we went to a little bar down the street. And I was, the only female amongst the group. So my kind of policy is I try not to drink while I'm traveling. So, everyone's talking amongst themselves. And the one gentleman who was there, the waitress comes up and she's asking, what everyone wants to drink. Of course, I don't really understand Japanese very well, but I, general. And so he's like, what does everyone want to drink? And everyone's like, I'll have a beer. I'll have a beer. I'll have a beer. And then it comes around to me. He's like, Maggie-san, what do you want to drink? And so thinking, taking the time that I had in learning the little quick Japanese I could, I turned to the waitress and basically it's like, Mizu desu ka? And I knew Kevin would get a kick out of that. Basically, I asked what water was essentially instead of asking for water. And so everyone else around me starts busting laughing. And I'm just like, what did I say? Did I say something wrong? And then I realized, I was like, oh no. Oh God, why? Why me? Because like the technical way of asking would have been, mizu kudasai, right? Or something along those lines. Am I correct on this, Kevin?
Ordering water, you would say, Mizu onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu. Okay.
Got to be correctly polite.
See, I'm still janky about it. But yeah, basically I asked what water was. So
that's cool.
That's great.
So the next year I was just like, you know what? Nobody knew what Nehru was. So I'm going to be Mizu Metal just for fun. And everyone would get a kick out. Well, somebody is already Mizu Metal. So I was like, ugh. Oh. So I had to was like, well, I mean, I could be the next Mizu Metal, like Mizu number 2. So I was like, well, it's a hard translate, but Mizu ni. So water 2. And then I realized, wait, water to metal. That sounds cool. Yeah. So that's how I am Mizuni Metal. So
I like it. That's really cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's there's actual meaning behind it, and there's a story, and it's fun.
That is a fun story.
And slightly embarrassing, but
that's great.
I am willing to tell it.
What's cool is that it also involves like Japanese that people who don't know much Japanese can still understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
I didn't know the word for water.
It's misu. Misu. I might not be saying it properly, but.
So I wonder if
close enough.
Like for English kings and that sort of thing, they'll have a regnal number, which is like the second in Charles II or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If someone in Japanese was trying to refer to Charles II, how would they do that? I wonder if they would just say, Charles ni. Anyway, this probably doesn't get covered in your Japanese classes.
I have no idea.
Anyway, yes. Also, I got a chance to use the words regnal number. So that's good.
We've done something new today. Yay!
Now, let's see. Speaking of stories, we were a little bit late to start recording because we were digging around trying to find the evidence for this. But right when the shirt came out, there's a kind of cool design on the front and the back. I don't know if you wanted to talk about the front design.
Not really. I mean, the foxes on the I think they're foxes. It looks like they're foxes on the fronts going up to a staircase of a big star, which could be like heading to heaven. I don't know, but it's cool looking either way.
I feel like we saw this image before. Was this maybe embedded in one of the
It does kind of a little bit.
But to be honest, all of the one shirt designs feel familiar to me.
Yeah, but so the overall look of it is ascending a staircase into the sort of the clouds or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think I am pretty sure that like there's a video representation of this in something, and it might have been the BABYMETAL that showed part of it.
Well, they've had the ascending stairs into things imagery before.
Yeah.
The first one that comes to mind is Legend S.
Yeah, definitely Legend S.
I mean, like in the show itself, you mean?
In the show itself, yeah.
Yeah.
So they've used this imagery before.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Anyway, we'll see. Well, okay, so what does that mean? Metal Paradise? Metal Heaven? What is the next album going to be? Metal,
right?
Metal Second Floor.
I mean, that's a good use for Elevator Girl. Hey!
Yeah, that's right.
Elevator Girl goes down, though.
That's true.
Damn.
Down, 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 down.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. but the thing that we were actually trying to deal with was this thing on the back. So on the back, basically on the back, they have it's an arrangement of what appears to be. It's basically the symbols from the the episodes, the tours. And in fact, actually, I guess this is going to be the same as the symbols that were on the gongs, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So what do we have? We have three down the left, 3 down the right, and then 4 down the middle, which does in fact lead to 10, right?
Yes.
So that presumably that'll be what all the gongs are, and we see the recognizable, the sort of current Budokan one. We see the Legend S, Legend M, the whatever it is, the lore hole. What is it? Whatever we call that.
The dark. Are you talking about the dark side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dark
That's not
side.
what I call it, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
The Chosen Seven.
Yeah.
Apocrypha.
It's sort of arranged. It's arranged in a way. So
In a way.
4 down the middle, 3 on each side. It's kind of the way you would make it 10 circles symmetrical. But so fairly immediately, I saw this, and it might just be one person that retweeted, that one person that tweeted about it, and then I saw retweets of it or something. But somebody saw this and said, "Oh, that looks like, this other thing."
Yeah.
And so now we will discuss whether it looks like that other thing, I guess.
Yeah.
The other thing being the tree of life. And I put an image that was shared in this tweet in our live chat here of where they're going with this. But the claim is, Paul mentioned there are 4 symbols going down the middle of the back of the t-shirt. The claim is that there should be 5, and the 5th would be second from the top and represent rebirth.
Death and rebirth, essentially.
Yeah, I this might take the cake for the thickest, largest, most elaborate tinfoil hat thing we've mentioned on the podcast. I really don't know about this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it came from a Japanese fan, and I don't know, sometimes they do come with, like, they're really quick on the ball with a lot of different fan theory things sometimes, but this one was definitely a little bit more elaborate. I thought it was really cool, though. I think it's neat. And because technically, I mean, this is, and because they had mentioned that, Metal Resistance quote is, this is the final episode of the Metal Resistance, albeit, yes, they've used final for other things before, but I think they are wanting to do some sort of restart. So, now's the time to join the Metal Resistance. They're still using the
name. Yeah.
But, normally the back would have been reserved for whatever episode 11's symbol was. So it's like they may not have either come up with one yet, or they're using it as a teaser because of crap that happened last year. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of a cool toy, I guess would be the word to use.
I can kind of see the resemblance. I can see where if you knew what this thing was, and it was in the front of your mind, you could say, "Oh, I kind of recognize this shape as this thing I know."
Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
I'm struggling to connect the dots on this one.
Yeah.
So it is I don't know if we said this, but it's it's sort of like it's an Old Testament thing. And
I've used stuff from that before. Like,
can't
really recall offhand, but I mean, not that I think they're really pushing it.
Yeah, they've Copa's never shied away from the religious imagery. So I guess that's another dot you could connect if you recognize this shape as being this tree of life from the Old Testament Genesis. I still don't see it.
They did call what was it, the old Baby Metal, what was it, Web BW
Apocalypse
Web.
Baby Metal
Thank you.
Apocalypse Web.
Yeah. For the book and the red book, they did actually have a section called Genesis. So I mean, like you said, they touch on the whole religious thing on occasions.
I think AJ Hartley was kind of talking with us a little bit that it's quite possible that a lot of this is being lifted as lore. Like there's little connection with the actual sort of like significance to religious people, that they're taking here.
Sure.
Oh
It's
yeah,
really
definitely.
just like, this is it's kind of like Lord of the Rings,
It's
or
for
whatever.
funsies.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's in the same vein as them using Star Wars all over the place a few episodes ago. So
Yeah. But it's still, I don't know, it's still kind of cool, but it was just something to touch on.
So, I mean, I guess if Koba had thought of it, I wouldn't put it past him,
No,
because
Yes.
definitely not.
remember, I think we talked about this. It was probably right at the beginning when Legend M happened, and there was this thing, this sort of monologue that happened at the beginning of that, where it was talking about the angel Maw or something like that,
The King of Terror,
Mhm.
yeah.
which was lifted. Oh, what was it? What was it from? Someone remember? It was like
I don't
it was
remember.
almost directly from like what is that guy's name? Nostradamus.
Nostradamus.
Yeah. Thank you, Loon, in chat. It was like almost exactly this thing, except that it had been like a couple of words had been shifted for like changed to Moa. It was instead of like I forget what the original word was, but I mean that is so amazing actually to find that quote and have it sort of have current relevance at Legend M.
Yeah.
Blew me away, and so I could see this possibly, like he's thinking, all right, lore, rebirth, tree of life, you can kind of see it, but at the same time, this is like, if you have 6 circles and you need to pack them, this is the way you pack them.
Yeah. From a graphic design perspective, this is how you organize this thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it could be complete coincidence. And I mean, so I guess the biggest reach of this is the idea that there's a space in that packing on the shirt, because if you look at how those circles are organized, there is no space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, technically, yeah.
It's the only reason that it even seems like there's space is that there's no boundary around it, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So, but all the ones that have a boundary, yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
We'll see, I guess, here soon in another month.
oh no, we'll never know. We will never know.
I mean, well,
They're not gonna tell us anything.
well,
Unless they re-release this design with the missing symbol.
I doubt that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think we'll ever know about this one.
Oh no, definitely not.
Well, and actually, I'm looking at a different graphic of the Tree of Life.
Mhm.
And so I see, basically it seems like these little circles in that, on the left side there's a pillar of severity, on the right side there's a pillar of mercy, and in the middle is the pillar of equilibrium. And they have things like understanding and power and splendor and endurance and wisdom and love. Crown, I don't know what crown is supposed to represent: beauty, foundation, and kingdom. None of those sound like rebirth. The one that's kind of like in the spot that was claimed to be about rebirth is called beauty, in the one that I'm looking at. So
Oh.
It gets further and further from plausible, but it's interesting.
Fair enough. It is
Nevertheless, it is
interesting,
interesting.
though. It is interesting. I mean, I'm not usually one to kind of delve into those sorts of things. I'm really not. Like, normally I'm just like, But this one, I don't know. It was just kind of neat.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. It's cool to see how people's imaginations run sometimes.
Yeah.
That's probably the best description.
And honestly, even if it wasn't intentional, I bet this is the kind of thing Kobo likes. Like people
True.
trying to dig into these things.
Give the people something to do while we're contemplating. We've got stuff to take care of.
trying to place Koba's accent there. I'm not quite sure. Started out as a Dalek, I think, but
Heck if I know.
okay. So let's see. I guess there's maybe one more sort of newsy thing we could talk about. Is this Metal Hammer issue? This almost passed me by. I didn't quite realize that it had even come out. But apparently, so Metal Hammers. They had a cover that was basically, the cover story was essentially something like Reader's Choice Top 100 this century, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so they on the page they had an image from like all kinds of. It contained a bunch of different people, and there among those people in the image was a little representation of the the Metal Galaxy image of Baby Metal. So they're a little bit on the cover, and then they made it inside. Oh, interesting. Wait, so there's a poster. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's a poster of.
There's a big like from the first album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Art.
It was all based upon songs, specific like single songs of what is it, Generation or of the Century or something along those lines. And I think Road of Resistance ended up being number 29.
Yeah,
I believe.
Spoilers, we say after it's over.
Yeah.
But
oops.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought this was. I saw this and I thought, oh, I should get that someday. And I didn't realize that it was already like on the newsstands. But the poster makes it possibly worth it. Possibly. I mean, the thing is, I have the vinyl edition of this album. I have several things that are probably as big and not as stably and foldy and creasy. Yeah, but otherwise, it's just like there's a little square that says 29 Road of Resistance, Baby Metal 2015. I know the metal elitists will disagree with me on this one. It starts off, but
when you have to start out saying that.
Yeah. But no, it's actually maybe it's worth reading the quote. Actually, it's I know the metal elitists will disagree with me on this one, but I think this song is awesome. When this group popped up, I thought they were a joke, but when I listened to the song that mixed the guitars of Dragon Force with the J-pop vocals in such a fast and technical way, I couldn't help but take Baby Metal more seriously. I know they're manufactured, of course, but if they make good, entertaining heavy metal, why not? It says Daniel Pletes or something like that. Plete? I don't know. Sorry, Daniel.
If you are listening, we apologize for butchering your name.
Yeah. But it says reader pick by this as well, but I thought they were all reader picks, so I don't know what that signifies. Anyway, it's neat. 29 is pretty high up in the list of 100.
Yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at.
It's in the top 29.
Yeah, we take that.
Yeah.
Especially considering the storied history of metal above 29 or closer to 1 than 29.
Well, that's true. I'm actually kind of curious to see what the other ones are. Maybe that would be a reason to buy this. But who did they?
I think
should they have beat anybody else above them? Quite possibly not.
I think it was either Slipknot or Metallica as number 1.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
I can't remember which.
That's a pretty long reach to say that they should have beat either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll agree.
Cool. Okay. Anything else?
Not from this peanut gallery.
Yeah, I think that's it for things that have happened since we last recorded.
Okay. Excellent. Actually, to be honest, when we started recording, we really had no idea what we were going to say and didn't think it was going to last, more than a minute. But here we are.
We talked more about the back of the T-shirt, I think, than we expected to.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, it was interesting anyway. But Momoko's birthday.
Yeah, Momoko's birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Ducky in the chat reminds us that Momoko's birthday happened since we last recorded too.
Yes, she turned 18.
Aww. Precious bean.
18 is not a particularly significant birthday in Japan, right? 20 is kind of what the 18 is.
Yeah, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did see something that was suggesting that they were going to possibly change that, make 18 the age of majority or whatever it is. And I don't know what that means for all those 20 celebrations.
Gets to do it earlier, I guess. But someone mentioned in chat, Dragon Fury said drinking. So I guess that's the drinking age in Japan is 18.
Well, it's 20.
Oh, is it 20? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wait, that's right. I
20,
should know
20
this.
is the everything day.
Yeah.
You
I
are
should know this.
an adult in all ways you can be an adult at the age of 20 in Japan.
I feel such shame because I have a Japanese student that I mentor and I should have known that. Shame on me.
So is this person 19 and you took the person out for a drink?
No. No, she is above the age of 20 now at this point.
Okay.
No, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
I would have never had the nerve anyway.
Yeah, there's sort of crossing very far away from the things we usually talk about. There's a just before I got into baby metal, I had sort of been intrigued by what is it called, the Pon 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 song, Carrie Pommy Pommy song, and
yeah.
Actually the way I got to Gimme Chocolate was it was in the like sidebar. I'm like, well, okay, I'll try this. But Carrie Pommy Pommy has a song. What is it called? Anyway, but it's about this. It's about the turning 20, and there's a video that goes along with it, which is really basically the through line of the video is like she's celebrating her 20th birthday thing, and so she's drinking. And the video gets like kind of weirder and weirder, and it's clear that she's getting drunk through the course of the video, and that's the sort of benefit perhaps of
she
being
always
20.
has kind of whimsical videos.
Anyway, whatever. That is the thing that always reminds me that this is the drinking age. Is this goofy video?
Oh, fair enough.
It is funny though, but it's not very metal.
I think we should label this episode or title this episode "Tangents."
Yeah, it could be. Honestly, so the editing process. We record the thing, and then I get the audio and I put it together and make an audio version, and then in order to make the video for YouTube, we need to come up with a title, and often that takes us days. Like we just sit around, all right, well, maybe this, no, that's not quite clever enough, no, this is too obscure. So yeah, tangents. Maybe we'll just name the episodes as we go.
Yeah. Releasing a list, going back through our chat of titles would actually be pretty hilarious. I think for some of these episodes.
Yeah. What you mean, like the ones we didn't use?
The ones we didn't use.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a great April Fool's joke. Change all the titles on the podcast feed to the ones we rejected.
Right. Yeah. No, I think they were usually rejected for good reason.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, so this is a good one. Episode 52, Scraping the Barrel. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gone pretty well for a week with no news, I think, but...
Well, we did talk about Genesis on the back of a t-shirt.
True.
For 20 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we said last time we were going to do is to talk about the new translation from PMC Volume 18, newish by now, that is a Sue Metal and Mo Metal interview, and was translated by Funny Toss and Capable Paramedic. And we've had a couple of other interviews that have come out too recently that we haven't talked about here. Now that we are at this point, an hour-ish in recording, we're going to save that for next time. And so if you want to, if you didn't read it ahead of this time, then you have another opportunity. So read that. And I think we will also try to talk about the Hedoban interviews and the Young Guitar interviews as well. Mm-hmm. And I think so. There is a sense, first of all, just to acknowledge this, a lot of these have a lot of similar stuff in them, but and none of them are like breaking news of massive proportions. But I think they're interesting. They're interesting little tidbits in each of them, and it's kind of interesting to see how they're organized. Young Guitar did kind of a cool thing where they picked a keyword from each of the 10 songs on the 10 Baby Metal Years album and tried to organize questions around those. And Hedoban always does some pretty, their questions are good and so forth. So I think we should, we at least behind the microphones will all read them, and we can maybe talk about them next time. Does that seem good?
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There is, so Mori Sensei did another PTA talking about 2012 Sakugakuen.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. But before you get further, what is that? I don't know what PTA is.
So he talks to the Tower Records executives, and they just reminisce. He tells stories.
So is it like a radio show, or?
It's a stream.
Yeah, it's a stream, but I think PTA is supposed to be like the whole parent teacher association, like parent teacher conference sort of thing. I'm assuming that's kind of like the setup for that.
Oh, I see. So
That's what it is here, but other Japanese groups use PTA,
Oh, do they?
and,
Oh, okay.
and it doesn't make sense for that acronym
Oh,
to
well
be
then.
accurate. So I'm not 100% sure what
Oh.
it stands for. Like perfume does a PTA.
Oh, I guess
yeah.
you're right. They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Darren probably knows. Darren's here. He's lurking. What is PTA? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is Parent Teacher Association. Anyways, Mori Sensei talks to the Tower Records guys for an hour and a half, and they talked about 2012. They've done this twice before in the last year, I think, covering other years. It's part of the 10-year thing. Anyways, the moral of the story being he did talk about Baby Metal a bit.
Huh.
That's what I got from watching that. I would need help actually like deciphering exactly what stories he was telling. But it did come up, and he did talk about Sumo and Yui and whatnot in the context of Baby Metal. So there might be something there. I just need to either find somebody who can actually understand all of what was going on, or somebody to do subtitles.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that seems like that's news. Why is that? Maybe nobody's paying attention to the news anymore. Because like I'm surprised that didn't pop up on the Reddit or something.
Well, I mean, you had to buy the either just the talk with Mori Sensei stream, which was I think like 3,000 yen or something like that, or you had to buy the 17,000 yen 3-day ticket for the open class plus the Mori Sensei PTA.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna guess, unless you're a dedicated Fouquet that's also a Baby Metal fan, you did not buy any of that stuff.
No.
Which is probably why it didn't show up anywhere in Baby Metal land.
Yeah, interesting. And exactly. I would like to hear from Mori Sensei. I'm not sure. I'm not that willing to commit all that much. I think resources to modern SG.
They're actually super interesting. The PTAs he's done in the past were all super interesting. They're totally worth just hearing him reminisce, tell stories, and things like that.
Okay.
It's a fun watch.
I've seen a few of those. Yeah.
I think the first one is subtitled from this year already.
Okay.
I'd have to go dig around.
I was going to say that, like, given that I can't understand a word he's saying, I'm not sure. Like, it's possible that the funness would wear off relatively quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got
you would
fine voice and all, but
you would want subtitles. But they're fun.
Cool.
Anyways, like I said, I don't think that I would include that as news because I didn't understand enough of what was going on to really put it in context and be a translator on that because I can't do that.
Maybe we can leave it for next time.
Yeah, well,
but there could be
a promise of
there
future
could be
news.
something in there. Yeah, there could be something in there.
Yeah, I like it. It's been. I mean, like he has talked a little bit about them before, on the radio, on some sort of radio show or whatever. Talking about like how he saw them. I think he saw them at Tokyo Dome or something, and was talking about that.
He did go to Tokyo Dome. Yeah, I think that was Aiko's radio show.
Yeah, that's right.
He was talking to her about that.
Yeah, so that was pretty. That was neat to hear about that. Like him initially being worried that maybe they were kind of stuck doing something they didn't want to do, and then going and seeing that they actually really seemed not to be the case. That they were really having a blast and got really far.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
So
okay. Then Darren just confirmed that it is in fact Parent Teachers Association. I can ask around and see if I can find somebody bilingual enough who has access to the stream to help me out with that.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
I mean, I given that it was a paid thing, I can understand why it maybe shouldn't be necessarily distributed, but certainly all I care about is the little bit. Well, I think I would be interested in the whole thing actually. I don't, as has come up before, I don't know the modern SG people very well. I know
they haven't gotten to any of the modern stuff yet. Like I said, this one was about 2012 mostly. So
I'd be super interested in that then.
Yeah. So they're kind of they're picking years to talk about.
Nice.
So they're interesting. They're fun.
I think that's a good idea.
And Mori Sensei's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's funny.
I like the idea that they do it by year because that way nothing gets forgotten. I mean, like they're usually pretty. My impression is that they're usually pretty equitable about like trying to make sure everyone gets roughly equal time. And so that's one way to kind of ensure that, is to like focus in on a year and then make sure that you hit everybody in that year.
Yeah.
All right. What was that? Was that news? That was not news. That was.
Yeah. Enjoy that 15 minutes and deciding what to do with it.
Excellent. Nah, I mean, whatever.
Dragon Fury in chat does have a rumor he wanted to share with us. The rumor being Riho went to one of the Budokan shows. She posted something cryptic on her fan club site that implies she may have gone.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that feels exactly. I mean, it's interesting because you've been working with this group for a long time, and you're probably off the roster, for performing with them at this point. But you kind of want to support them, and at the same time, you can sort of see yourself up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like aging out of sports, or if you're an athlete, either graduating from your school sports and still supporting them, or I would equate it to something similar to that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I wonder if she got a discount.
Backstage passes.
Avenger discount, yeah.
No way. Knowing Koba, she paid full price and had to enter the lottery like everybody else.
That's right. Had to buy a shirt. Didn't need a shirt, but yeah. Cool.
If we're going to go on the rumor box just for another second, I mean, it's not really a rumor. I mean, it happened, but it has a slight connection to Baby Metal. Torihime is no longer a thing now at this point. They've kind of called it a day, and that's kind of sad. That's
the sort of dance group that used to perform at the Amuse Cafe.
Yeah. And they were really good. I did actually get to see them once, so I'm glad of that. And that was when Hana was still part of their group. But the connection is that there was 5 of them, or 5 or 6 still left. And one of them was Saya.
Oh, yeah.
But the other 4 or 5 are going to be like still employed with an Amuse in some semblance. But Saya is actually separated out to do, quote, her own thing. So there's always that small possibility where she could potentially maybe run into them again. Who knows?
So where was who said that she was doing her own thing?
Torihime. It was actually let me see if I can probably pull that up here real quick.
It just seems like I'm mildly surprised that there was such a kind of like bald statement from a Muse property. But like, these people are continuing with Muse and this person is going to do her own thing.
Yeah, let's see here.
Also, if it's Muse saying that she's doing her own thing, that sounds like something that's not a Muse, right? So if she's leaving a Muse, then probably that doesn't bode well for her Avenger status. It would be interesting. She was good, though.
Here we go. Here's the translation. Oh, yeah, she was excellent. Mayu, Yui, Asuza, and Akira will continue to work as Muse staff to create new entertainment businesses that will not lose to the ever-changing era. As a stage performer, Saya will continue to expand her activities and do her best, so I hope you will warmly watch over her, is what it states.
That's interesting and weird. I don't know what to make of that. So what I am not able to determine from that is whether she's still with the Muse or not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, so she, where did she debut? It looks like the first thing she did was Dark Knight Carnival as one of the many, and then went to Singapore, and then went to Australia.
Yeah.
And
there
it was
we go.
In Singapore and Australia that we kind of, saw her as an individual.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But so she was kind of a proto Avenger.
Before there was Avengers, there was Saya.
So if they were to keep going with this, if instead of having Momoko be the one Avenger, if they would continue to rotate, but without the people that can't do it anymore, she would be a fairly obvious person to bring in.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
She already knows it did well. I wonder. The one way that you could interpret that cryptic speak is that she's going under the whatever the shadow of baby metal that you cannot see through.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else is doing something you can see, and she's doing nothing we're going to talk about, but you'll see her.
Yeah. I figured I'd bring that up.
Excellent. No, it's interesting to talk about, and further dashing Kevin's hopes for a short episode.
Hey, it's your hopes. You're the one who has to edit this down. Good luck.
Yeah, true. True that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think this is interesting. We have having no news has given us room to breathe for all these things that we wouldn't have normally thought was newsworthy. I mean, we don't want to necessarily talk a lot about rumors, but I think these are all sort of sensible things.
I mean, it kind of fits with the structure of the, what the podcast is supposed to be of. I mean,
yeah, it does. This is definitely feels like the most we're bored, so we're just thinking of things to talk about.
Yeah,
since we started this, I think
that's right.
Definitely would have brought this up in line.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, and I think the Saya stuff is, it's more plausible than this back of the shirt business. So
fair enough.
But at the end of the day, nobody knows anything about anything, and we're all probably wrong.
Throwing tomatoes at the wall.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can turn that into if we ever make a podcast shirt, maybe that thing about at the end of the day, it can be the quote on the back.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd buy a shirt. Would you guys buy a shirt? I'd make a shirt.
That'd be awesome.
Do we need merch? We have stickers.
We do have stickers. That's true. Yeah.
We have stickers that we can't give out to people because of COVID. I have 250 really nice stickers that I had planned to give out over the last year sitting on my desk.
Yeah. That's probably enough, though.
Well, this was a fun mess.
Yeah.
Thanks for going on this adventure with us, chat.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. It went from A to C to B back to kind of J and all the way back around.
Water came up.
Yep.
Water came up.
Right.
Water stones apparently came up too.
Yeah. All right. I will now utter the closing incantation. And that's it for this episode. You can join us on the Baby Metal Podcast Discord to continue the conversation. Rating the podcast on whatever platform you listen on will help people find it, so please do that. We'll be back here in about 2 weeks. We hope you'll join us then. And until then, see you.